we have a company as well, and that is IMFA, and the stock has been on a tear, but I think there is some method to the madness. Numbers might look actually good for some of the ferrochrome players as well. Shubhrakant Panda, let me not say that, let's hear it out from the management. The MD of the company joins us right now on the show. Shubhrakant, good having you. Thanks so much for joining in. Now,
my pleasure to be. My pleasure.
No, much appreciate taking time out. I know you have a hectic schedule, but let's just try and fit in this conversation here. The assumption that a lot of people are drawing in is that ferrochrome prices, and we know that they've gone up, they will probably stay up, and this could mean a significant EBITDA accretion to companies such as yours. There are 2 or 3 players, you are amongst the largest ones. Now, is that a reasonable estimate or assumption to make?
You're absolutely right about that. Ferrochrome, like all of the commodities, has turned around extremely smartly. Just to take you back to earlier this year, in April, the benchmark price, the European benchmark price, was at 82 cents, and the transactions were in the range of mid to low 50 cents per pound of chrome content. And the increase which has been announced for the same European benchmark price for next quarter, which is the January to March 2017 quarter, the increase is 55 cents. So that sort of gives you an indication of how prices have moved up. And if I were to look at our own realizations, and this time talking in rupees per ton of ferrochrome, in April, in Q1, we were selling at roughly about 51 to 52,000 rupees a ton. That has gradually moved up, and during Q3, which is of course about to end, we are expecting an average realization of roughly about 75,000 rupees a ton, and that will move up further to north of 1 lakh, maybe about 1 lakh 5 to 1 lakh 10,000 rupees a ton. So yes, you're absolutely right that there is a significant EBITDA accretion going to happen. I mean, of course, Q4, I have to be honest about it, is going to be an exceptional quarter. And you don't necessarily look to repeat that, for a substantial period of time. But I think it's fair to say that commodities and in general and chrome in particular are going to have an extended good run now.
Good to hear that, Shubhrakant. Many analysts are also attributing this to higher demand, especially from China. What's the demand scenario from you? Because, you're a major, your major markets, that is, include South Korea and Taiwan. What has been the on-ground situation that you're perceiving right now?
Well, there are actually, 2 or 3 reasons why ferrochrome in particular has turned around. And clearly, a turnaround in demand is one of them, and what we have been seeing in terms of our customers in Korea or Taiwan or even in China, where we place substantial tonnages, is that there is demand for more. There is demand for more than we are in a position to supply, and that has caused the spike in prices. But to an extent, I think the spike in prices are also a result of benchmark prices playing catch up. Because as you would know that long-term contracts are finalized probably at the start of the quarter or just before. So actually the spike in spot prices took place in China in the month of November and December, and whereas the transacted prices for long-term contracts were much lower. So that's why you're seeing a catch-up. But I think there's more to just demand, because the extremely low prices in earlier this year has taken a lot of capacity offline, so that is a factor to consider. And secondly, let's not forget that chrome ore prices, which is the major input into ferrochrome, of course, have moved up sharply. So just to give you an idea, in South Africa, UG2 ore prices have moved up from about $75 to $80 a ton to close to $400 a ton. Even in India, the latest auctions by Odisha Mining Corporation, the prices have gone up from about 15,000 rupees a ton to 27,000 rupees a ton. So as long as you have this high-priced ore in the system, that itself is enough of a rationale for ferrochrome prices to stay high. Of course, being an integrated producer ourselves with access to our own chrome ore, we are not going to have that impact. The impact in terms of costing that we will see is on account of royalties, for example, going up. The percentage remains the same, But in absolute terms, given the spike in ore prices, royalty numbers will move up a little bit.
Okay. I believe your annual capacity is about 2.4 lakh MT. Now, are you currently running at full capacity? And if so, are you looking at expanding capacity?
Well, yes, we are running at full capacity. We have 6 furnaces, and earlier this year again we had the foresight to take shutdowns and do maintenance activities which were originally scheduled for some times now. So that's turned out to be a smart decision. So we are running all out, and the likely output for the current financial year is about 235,000 tons. In terms of expansion, that's something which will come in when it comes. In the sense that again, just to repeat that we are an integrated producer, which means that we will only add smelting capacity when we have the ore, and that expansion of mining output is underway, but that's some time away. So our primary focus at this point in time, in terms of what to do with the windfall, is actually to take a strong balance sheet and make it stronger by reducing debt.
So what's the plan there? How much does debt come down to? Can you share some numbers?
Well, at the moment, long-term debt is of the order of about 800 crores. The real kicker in terms of performance, as I said, is going to come in Q4. I mean, Q3 we are also going to do better than we did in Q2 numbers. I'm a little constrained, by the way, in terms of actually sharing these numbers with you, given that given that we have to first take it to the board. But Q3, suffice it to say, we will do better than we did in Q2. But the real kicker is going to be in terms of the Q4 numbers, because again, output we are looking at roughly about 64,000 tons a quarter output. In terms of input costs, chrome ore is under control, and we have also the other major input, which is reductants or metallurgical coke, to be specific. We are also covered at the pre-spike prices, as I would like to call it, till about April or May of next year. So right now we are really in a sweet spot, and you'll see that to some extent in Q3 numbers, but very much in the open in Q4.
Since you're saying that the most lucrative would be Q4, what happens beyond Q4? What's going to help sustain chrome prices going forward, and what would it take for them to actually appreciate from the current 1 lakh rupees per ton level?
Well, I'm not sure whether further appreciation from the 1 lakh ton level is reasonable, or in fact is a good thing to happen, because prices have already run up a little bit. But we do, I mean, obviously it's a factor of demand and supply, and we see that imbalance continuing through till at least the middle of next year, if not a little bit more. Keep in mind that a lot of capacity is coming back online, but not everyone has the same wherewithal in terms of access to ore, in terms of access to markets to really translate. I mean, you'll certainly see high top lines, but whether that translates through into a similar surge in the bottom line is something that is debatable.
Okay, great chatting with you then, and thank you so much for being all that candid. I know you can't talk numbers, but a definite hint at what could be the most lucrative quarter for you. Q3 is going to be better, but Q4 is when you're going to see some fireworks there. Shubhrikant, good chatting with you. Thanks much for taking the time out and speaking with us today. Let's get your status check on what the market then is up to, and still we've not gone beyond that level, still sub 8100, still a very tempered move, come off from those opening highs